Good day! My name is Mildred Amor or Reymundo, Teacher 1 from the Department of Education, Division of Bukidnon. I graduated my master's degree at Valencia Colleges, Bukidnon Incorporated. The title of my study is Lived Experiences of Teachers in Teaching Araling Panlipunan Using Mother Tongue-Based Multilingual Education. For the objectives of the study, first, to analyze the lived experiences of grade 1 teachers in teaching Araling Panlipunan using MTB-MLE in terms of mother tongue as medium of instruction and learners' behavioral engagement in Araling Panlipunan. Second, identify the challenges encountered by the grade 1 teachers in teaching Araling Panlipunan using MTB-MLE. And third, to elicit coping mechanisms of grade 1 teachers in addressing challenges encountered in teaching Araling Panlipunan using MTB-MLE. The study on mother tongue-based multilingual education is anchored on Dewey's theory of learning experience, Cobb's of 1984 experiential learning theory, DepEd Order Number 74, Series of 2009, and Republic Act 10533, Series of 2013. With all the studies conducted related to the use of MTB-MLE in instruction, there is very limited data of the documentation of the lived experiences of the teachers in MTB-MLE. This is the reason why I conducted this study to determine the meaning of teaching MTB-MLE as far as the teachers are concerned, including the successes and problems in implementation. For the methods, there were 10 grade 1 teachers purposely selected sampling of 4 elementary schools and 1 central school. Most of these teachers graduated with a degree of Bachelor of Elementary Education. Some of these teachers took social studies as their area of specialization. Some of these teachers had earned units in Master of Arts in Teaching. This study used qualitative phenomenological research employing narrative approach of Colizzi of 1978. This narrative approach was a way of understanding and inquiring into one's experience through a collaboration between researcher and participants over a time, in place, or series of sites and social interaction of Gladinen and Connelly of 2000. The researchers developed the data gathering tools such as the prompts of a semi-structured individual interviews, focus group discussion, and classroom observation. These tools help the researcher to gather in-depth information on the experiences of the teachers in teaching Araling Panlipunan using MTB-MLE to grade 1 learners. In conducting this study, the respondents' description of the experiences are read in order to acquire a sense of a whole. Next, you have to extract the significant statements, and the meanings are formulated from the significant statements. The formulated meanings are organized into themes. These themes are integrated into an exhaustive description. For validation, the respondents will evaluate the result of the analysis. The voices of the teachers on their experiences in teaching Araling Panlipunan using mother tongue-based multilingual education generated 6 general themes. First theme: voices of teachers in teaching Araling Panlipunan using MTB-MLE as the medium of instruction. The first construct shared the voices of teachers in teaching Araling Panlipunan using MTB-MLE as a medium of instruction. There were positive experiences and a negative experience in teaching Araling Panlipunan as a medium of instruction. The most positive experience that the teacher shared was that the learners could best understand the lesson in Araling Panlipunan when MTB-MLE was used. On the other hand, few teachers had negative experiences that were on the difficulties in explaining terminologies using MTB-MLE. The second theme was the voices of teachers in speaking the mother tongue. The second theme was about their experiences in speaking the language, stressing that Cebuanong Binisaya as their medium of instruction in teaching Araling Panlipunan was challenging since difficult terminologies written in Cebuanong Binisaya needed to be simplified to be understood. The result confirmed that the teachers' difficulties included the challenge of using the terminologies written in Cebuanong Binisaya in teaching Araling Panlipunan. To introduce those terms to the primary grade learners, teachers had to translate this in English or unlock these terminologies. The third theme: The voices of teachers on learners' behavior toward Araling Panlipunan. The theme showed the reactions or feedback from the learners towards Araling Panlipunan using MTB-MLE. It was essential to consider the learners' response when taught by the teachers. They could do reasoning because they associate their experiences to the lesson. Children could draw their ideas because they were already familiar with the language. Language are not hindrance of their learning. Instead, it was a great help for them. Fourth, the challenges of teachers in using MTB-MLE. The fourth theme was on the most challenging experience in teaching Araling Panlipunan using MTB-MLE, which was on the utilization of instructional materials. Teachers' mastery on Sinugbuanong Binisaya terms is very essential. As noted, the teachers used real objects as instructional materials that were available in the surroundings. Teachers were innovative and practical enough to make their class lively. They ensured that learning occurred despite the lack of IMs. The learners enjoyed activities using the localized materials that were very familiar to the grade 1 learners. Learners were very actively engaged when hand-on activities provided. Fifth theme, coping mechanisms of teachers in addressing the challenges encountered. This theme revealed that most of the teachers became innovative leaders in finding solutions to address the needs and problems of the learners. The unavailability of the learning material did not hinder them from maximizing learning opportunities. One of the particular features of a teacher's approach to learning was the use of learning strategies. The teaching strategy was what a teacher used inside the classroom to achieve the objective of the lesson. A teacher could use a single approach or a combination of strategies in teaching. The primary purpose of teaching strategy at any level of education was to bring a fundamental change in the learner. That is according to T. Babal and Casey of 2011. The sixth theme is on the assistance rescue from stakeholders. The stakeholders played a vital role as part of the school system. Their support and assistance were very significant in ensuring quality education for the learners. As observed, the presence of the stakeholders in the school had great impact in addressing the challenges met by the teachers. They had a great part in ensuring quality education for the learners since the stakeholders, such as the school head and parents, helped in addressing the challenges. This finding substantiated the claim of Balaoro of 2014 that the support of the stakeholders was usually very evident when they helped in the implementation of the MTB-MLE program. Hence, she further emphasized that the implementation of the program must be communicated to all stakeholders during the school governing council's meeting, parent-teachers association meeting, and barangay assembly. Based on the data gathered, the following were the salient conclusion of the study. First, there were varied experiences shared by the elementary grade 1 teacher in teaching Araling Panlipunan using MTB-MLE, positive and negative experiences. Second, learners could best understand the lesson in Araling Panlipunan when MTB-MLE was used. On the other hand, few teachers had negative experiences that were on the difficulties in explaining terminologies using MTB-MLE. Third, some teachers also stressed that using Sinigbuanong Binisaya as their medium of instruction in teaching was challenging since difficult terminologies needed to be simplified to be understood. Fourth, the learner's behavior was also affected when teachers used MTB-MLE. Learners can easily respond to teachers using their dialects, but they became too aggressive in giving their answers because they were confident about what they said, and this made the class chaotic. Fifth, teachers also had a problem on the use of instructional materials with Sinugbuanong Binisaya. The scarcity of resources like books, learning resources materials written in mother tongue in the locality made some teachers to become more innovative and resourceful. And sixth, the help and support of the stakeholders were very significant to ensure quality education for learners. For the recommendations, teachers had to possess a balance of mastery. They must be forged in their choice of teaching strategy, suited for the level of their learners, and must have a mastery of prerequisite knowledge or concept as translated in the native dialect by in-depth and maximum exposure to the community. Moreover, Teachers help one another in coming up with resource materials using the MTB-MLE as the language tool. They may establish relationships with school leaders and colleagues to make pedagogical innovations to implement the MTB-MLE in teaching the learners successfully. School administrators may support their teachers and learners. They shall address their needs of the teachers, especially on instructional materials, learning modules, and books, to facilitate effective instruction using Sinigbuanong Binisaya. They may conduct in-service training for teachers to enhance the teachers' pedagogical practices in teaching Araling Panlipunan using MTB-MLE. The Department of Education MTB-MLE Education Program Supervisor, through the help of the supervisors and school administrators, may conduct seminars and workshops to the teachers on the implementation of the MTB-MLE that could help improve the teachers' pedagogical practices and teaching strategies in using MTB-MLE as a medium of instruction. For the insights and outcomes of the study, one of the curricular changes in the basic education was the teaching of mother tongue-based multilingual education, or the MTB-MLE. MTB-MLE was one of the major thrusts of the Philippines K-12 curriculum. This thrust mandated teachers to use the mother tongue in teaching mathematics, science, and English to primary grade levels. The country abided by the advocacy of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, for literacy in the mother tongue to be given the top priority before progressing to the national language. MTB-MLE in the K-12 basic education curriculum strongly support the goal of every child a reader and a writer by grade 1. It was the first language, first education that was schooling began in the mother tongue and transitioned to the 2 or more additional languages as media of instruction in school subjects according to DepEd Order number 74 series of 2009. My insights from my personal journey. As a teacher, I have noticed the different insights of my co-teachers, implying their experiences toward curricular changes and school reforms. These changes are vital for school leaders. These provide information to help improve the school system in coming up with a positive implementation of curricular changes and reforms. These changes and reforms are possible when school leaders listen to the voices of the teachers who are at the forefront in the implementation of the curriculum changes. I want to express and convey my sincerest gratitude to Philippine Association for Graduate Education Region 10 for this great opportunity given to me to present my study, most especially to Page 10 President Dr. Judith C. Chavez. It is my great honor and privilege to present further my study. To my conveners, Dr. Ravina O. Mendoza and Dr. Raul P. Orongan, thank you, ma'am and sir. As we embrace the new normal, still, Page 10 really find ways to continue and show to the world that education is fighting and even strive for excellence. Thank you once again. This is Mildred Amor o Reymundo from Valencia Colleges Bukidnon Incorporated. God bless us all and mabuhay, Page 10.